Originally posted on Reddit by u/Soon-to-Wed-Throway, he planned a spring wedding, then discovered his older brother wanted to use that day to propose. What followed was a slow-motion family implosion that raises tough questions about loyalty, leverage, and where you draw the line. My wedding was scheduled for April. My fiancé had always dreamed of a spring wedding, and I liked the idea too. I'm 27, she's 25, and we were excited and focused on planning. Then, out of nowhere, my parents called me over one evening and told me to sit down. They wouldn't say why until I got there. When I arrived, they'd roped my 30-year-old brother into the conversation and told me he wanted to use my wedding as the perfect moment to propose to his girlfriend. I told them absolutely not. It wasn't a small ask. My wedding day was not the place for someone else to stage a life-changing surprise that could derail our ceremony and make the day about someone else. The discussion escalated fast. My brother and my parents ganged up on me, and in the heat of it, I snapped. I told them if they went through with it, they'd all be uninvited, and I would stop the monthly financial help I'd been giving them. Context matters. About a year earlier, my parents had been in danger of losing the house because of debts they'd taken on paying for my brother's college. I'd been helping monthly $500 because I didn't want them to lose their home. It wasn't a loan. It wasn't a stake in the house. It was help. But it was help I could cut off any time. And I made it clear I would. My brother blew up. He accused me of financial blackmail and said I'd ruined his big chance. He claimed he needed the proposal to salvage his relationship, which struck me as his problem to deal with, not mine. I made it clear that if he tried to hijack my day, security would remove him. The drama ricocheted through the family. My grandmother took his side after he embellished the story, and she called to ream me out. I yelled back. She cried. My parents were furious at first, but after we talked through it, they sided with me, and it changed the family dynamics. My father insisted my brother start paying fair rent and contributing to utilities or move out. My brother left and moved in with Grandma. Things only got messy. I threatened, quietly, that if he persisted with the plan, I'd tell his girlfriend what he was up to. When she later discovered the truth, she'd seen a reading of my Reddit post and recognized our situation. She ended contact with him. He claimed I'd ruined everything. She told him she'd been ready to leave him for months anyway. He came to my house drunk one night, vomited on the porch, and collapsed in the grass crying, blaming me for everything. I paid for a taxi to get him home. He later showed up again, calmer, and handed me a pre-written apology. He said he wanted to move forward and had even started trying to change. For months, there was nothing but silence between us. The situation with Grandma spiraled into real trouble. After I told her off over the phone and blocked her number, neighbors reported erratic behavior, and eventually she was taken into custody on a psych hold. She tried to get my brother to move back in with her, then later attempted self-harm and was hospitalized. My parents got adult protective services and had her moved into a care facility for her safety, and my wedding went ahead in a beautiful outdoor venue. I had security. My grandmother drove 200 miles to try to crash the ceremony with the paper invitation she refused to return. She was denied entry and left screaming. My brother didn't come. Time smoothed some things. My parents rented out extra rooms and started repairing their finances. My brother, it seemed, finally started therapy and cut down on drinking. My grandmother's health deteriorated, kidney function, lungs, and other issues, and after a stroke she died in the care facility. The funeral was awkward and muted. Grief existed, but so did relief for many of us. In the end, some reconciliation began. My brother reached out, apologized in person, and we shook hands. He moved on from Grandma's house and started to make practical changes. My wife and I went on a honeymoon, hit the coast, and tried to reset our life together. Looking back, the whole mess left me with complicated feelings about responsibility, boundaries, and what it takes to make a family functional again. Point 1. When family members rely on you financially, how ethically defensible is it to use that support as leverage to enforce personal boundaries, e.g., around a wedding? Is withholding aid ever justified as a boundary-setting tool, or does it cross into coercion? 2. Weddings are public rituals with private stakes. Should a host have unilateral right to control every emotional event, like a proposal, that occurs there? Or are there legitimate cases where accommodating another's life moment is the kinder choice? How do you weigh fairness to the couple versus compassion for a sibling's desperation? 3. Publicizing family conflict, e.g., posting on Reddit, can pressure change but also escalate harm. Was airing this conflict online an ethically appropriate route to accountability, or did it risk unnecessary collateral damage to relationships and mental health? Under what conditions is naming and shaming justified? 4. In families with a history of favoritism, long-term patterns often require structural intervention, therapy, financial rules, third-party mediation. Which interventions are most likely to create sustainable change, and which are performative or likely to backfire? 5. How should families balance safety and responsibility when an elder exhibits dangerous or attention-seeking behavior, self-harm attempts, psychholds? What are the moral obligations to protect the elder versus protecting the rest of the family from ongoing manipulation? 6. Finally, if you were in the OP's shoes, what alternative paths could you have taken that might have preserved relationships while still protecting your wedding day and your parents' financial stability? Be concrete. What would you have said, enforced, or negotiated? Drop your perspectives below. I want to hear principled takes, lived experiences, and practical advice for anyone navigating similar family landmines.